You know what they say, there is never a dull day as a Nebraska fan. And once again, that has lived up to the case. Of course, we received the news early this morning that Dane Raiola, three-star quarterback commit, has decommitted from Nebraska effective immediately. And not only does this have significant implications for his future, the future of Nebraska's quarterback room, but it also has serious ties to our starting quarterback, Dylan Raiola, and whether he'll be in Nebraska after this season, going into 2026 and beyond. So in today's live show, we're going to talk about all of it and more, everything that's came out over these past couple hours. Why did Dane Raiola actually decommit? What does this mean for Dylan? What does this mean for Trey Taylor, TJ Lateef? A lot of the recruiting news that has been released over these past couple hours as well. We'll talk about the Penn State game and again, going into transfer portal season as well, all the recruiting that's going to happen over these next couple weeks. I'm telling you guys, like, you think it's crazy in the summer, November, December, January. Those are the 3 months it's going to get really hectic. And again, you guys know where you get daily content talking Nebraska right here on this channel. Again, it's going to be a busy couple months, and it's all starting right now, of course, with Dane Raiola decommitting from Nebraska. So let's just dive right into it. Fun. It's going to be a very fun show today. Got a lot to talk about. It's going to be loaded. Everybody, let me know where you're tuning in from in the comment section. Hit that like button on the way in. But let's start things off with the Dayton. So again, I kid you not, I woke up this morning around 9 o'clock. You guys know my eyesight isn't very good, so I look at my phone. I literally had 30 text messages down the list on Instagram, iMessage, Twitter, everything. I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, there must be huge breaking news. Matt Rhule must have left Nebraska. Dylan Raiola must be transferring, and it was about to that caliber. Again, the first message I read, oh, does this mean Dylan's gone? I'm like, what in the world? This is from one of my buddies, and of course it was referencing Dayton Raiola decommitting from Nebraska. So again, as for Dayton decommitting, it was a complete surprise. And I want to start off by this. He's not a loss given the fact that Dayton Raiola really isn't a good player. He's just not a good player. I try to tell you guys this over these past couple months, over these past couple years. Like Dayton, he's far from what his brother once was. Again, he has great arm strength. I think he has great potential. I wasn't lying when I told you guys that. But when you watch Dayton, and he plays on one of the best high school programs in America, Buford. They have a lot of talent, a lot of 5 stars. It's very clear that he's far from one of the most talented guys on the field. If not, he's the least talented. It took him a long time to win that quarterback battle. Again, Dayton, he's somebody who's a decent his school quarterback, but there's a lot of his traits that just aren't going to translate to college. If anything, it's going to take a lot of time. So I wasn't too mad about him decommitting because we're losing a great player. Like objectively, I mean, he is what he is. He's a group of 5 quarterback. That's what the offers indicate. But the only reason Nebraska took him is because they felt like they owed the Raiola family to take Dylan's brother. But the reason why, and I was thinking about this more today, the reason why I honestly think this hurts Nebraska, and we'll talk about Dylan in a second. The reason why this hurts Nebraska, just because of Dayton committing and Dayton alone, is because let's think about our quarterback room next year. Who do we have? Okay, let's assume Dylan or TJ, one of those guys is gone. I think it's a very likely outcome. I'd say 60% chance one of those two's gone. I don't know which one, but more likely than not, Dylan or TJ, one of those guys will leave. Because again, we have two very talented quarterbacks in modern day college football. One of those guys is going to have to sit on the bench, and they don't really want to wait. They can go get paid $1 million elsewhere and start and be an NFL draft pick. So again, unfortunately, we have a dilemma on our hands. We have two really good quarterbacks. It's a good dilemma, but one of those guys is going to leave. Okay, so we've already established that. One of our quarterbacks is going to leave. We don't have Dane Raiola. We know that Jalen Gramstad is going to graduate. We know that Marcus Davila probably will transfer away from Nebraska. So right now, let's just say it's TJ Lateef. Let's say TJ starts for Nebraska next year. He goes 2-0 these next 2 games. The fans are calling for him left and right. Dylan's pressure. Dylan says, you know what? I'm not gonna stick around for this. I'm gonna go get paid $5 million to go to Miami. So let's say TJ Lateef is our star next year. A lot of Nebraska fans would be cool with that. But what does that mean for the rest of this quarterback room? Who's our backup? It's going to be Luke Longville, or it's going to be another walk-on. So that's the problem right now with Nebraska, with Dayton going, is that now we have literally no depth. Now Dylan's up in the air, we got to get another quarterback in this 26 class, or we got to get a transfer because we have nobody who's going to be our backup next season. And the big problem, in my opinion, too, is because Nebraska made a very bold decision going after Dayton in the first place. Dayton was never that good of a prospect. And this is the problem sometimes with college football, but nepotism runs wild. Corruption runs wild. And Nebraska has done a good job recently getting rid of the corruption. But I told you guys, Dylan Raiola and his family, unfortunately, kind of have a stranglehold over the university in a way, right? They have a lot of ties. They have a lot of connections, not only in Nebraska, but nationwide, and other college football programs and NFL programs, this, that, and third. So Dylan's a very well-connected guy. And I told you guys, again, the only reason we took Dayton was because of Dylan. Okay, Dayton was never going to have to play here. And it's funny because we have a really, really good quarterback in our own backyard. We have a quarterback who was just named today the 5th best quarterback in America. He's coming out of Omaha, Nebraska. He goes to Millard South, who's going to be the state champion in about 1 week, and he's committed to Alabama. And he's a borderline 5-star prospect. So let me get this right. We have a borderline 5-star quarterback in our own backyard in the class of 26. And not only did we not land him, we didn't even give him an offer. Does that not sound crazy to anybody else? And Jet Tamala is a fine quarterback. I told you guys, like, I don't know if Jet Tamala is actually as good as the rankings indicate. And this is coming from somebody I know, Jet Tamala. I know the Millard South family. I'm a guy who's from Millard South, where I graduated there 2 years ago, so I'm very familiar with him. And I think Jet Tamala is a really good quarterback. The fact I'm not asking Nebraska to land him, but the fact that we never gave him an offer and we said, you know what, screw it, we're just going to go get Dayton, who's not even that good. Dayton's not even on the same stratosphere as Jet Tamala. So it is what it is. Okay, you took Dayton before him. Whatever, we're going to roll Dayton. Now Dayton decommits. Now you look stupid. The fact of the matter is we had our best quarterback to ever come out of the state in a very, very long time, objectively, from a star standpoint, from a statistics standpoint, from a film standpoint, and Nebraska didn't even offer him because they were too busy in the corruption. They were too busy in the Raiola deep state, and they kept Dayton. So, again, that's why I'm frustrated about it. That you can't put all your cards into Dayton and have a decommit on you. And it's also frustrating to me because Matt Rhule literally visited Dayton a week ago. Okay, and Matt Rhule talked about this in a press conference. In November, in September, and October, you only have a certain amount of hours that you can allocate toward going on the road and recruiting. You only have a certain amount of hours where you can go on the road, recruit a certain player, use your private jet, this, that, and third. And Matt Rhule used his limited hours to visit Dayton Raiola and visit nobody else, to visit Dayton. And then, because again, at the time, the expectation was Dayton was going to commit here. It was going to stay here. It was going to sign here. So we wasted recruiting hours going to watch Dayton, our low 3-star quarterback, who would never actually end up being here. What changed? What changed? What changed? Also should be noted that Steven Sipple reported earlier today on the radio. He said that he talked with Dominic Raiola, the dad, on Monday, and Dom said that Dayton was still locked in, literally 2 days ago. So what changed in these last 2 days? If Dominic said 2 days ago that Dayton Raiola is going to be here, and he said he was going to be an early enrollee, he was going to be part of the bowl practice, what has changed in 2 days? And there's this narrative right now. Again, this is all over social media. I told you guys this would be the number one narrative. I told you guys that the narrative would be, well, Dayton just wants to bet on himself. Again, that's exactly what there was a presser that came out. That's what Dayton told the media. That's what the dad told the media. He said, I'm just betting on myself. I want to go play elsewhere. Again, where was that mindset a week ago? Where was that mindset 2 weeks ago? Where was that mindset a month ago? Where was that mindset when Trey Taylor committed to us in May? So, again, I think it is realistic maybe that Dayton Raiola said, you know what, I want to go play somewhere else. I want to go start somewhere else. That's not going to happen at Nebraska. But nothing has changed in the last couple months. Okay, Trey Taylor's been a part of this program for a very long time. Same deal with TJ. We always knew TJ was going to be good. So if Dayton wanted to do this, he should have done this a long time ago. It tells me that he didn't make this move based off of playing time. And again, if you also listen to his interviews in the past, again, you go back to the past 2 years since he committed to Nebraska, he's a guy who never cares about the playing time. I've always told you guys, well, I don't know how good Dayton's potential is. I don't know if he's as good as his brother. I can tell you one thing about Dayton. He's a very hard worker. He's a very loyal kid. He always wanted to be a Cornhusker, and he always wanted to pair up with his brother. He never cared about playing immediately. That's not in his cards. Dayton's not a selfish guy. So I believe it has nothing to do with playing time. It definitely has nothing to do with the coaching staff telling him to get lost. The coaching staff not say that. The coaching staff loves him. Okay, so it's not the coaching staff. It was not the playing time. It was not the money. Is it because of Dylan? Is it because of Dylan? That's my question to you. What has changed in the past week? Where 1 week ago, literally 5 days ago, it looked like Dayton Raiola was going to commit to Nebraska, was going to sign Nebraska. Okay. 2 days ago, it looked like that. So what has changed in the past couple of days? What has changed in the past couple of weeks? Dylan Raiola's future has changed. That's what's changed. What's changed is that TJ Lateef has started for Nebraska against UCLA and played very well. That's changed. The fan perception of Dylan has changed. So again, I don't want to be, and I want to make this very clear to you guys. I'm not making any bold statements here. I'm not going to say for a fact that Dylan's leaving. I'm not saying for a fact Donovan Raiola's leaving. I'm not saying for a fact that anything's going on. But I think you can reasonably infer, based on everything that we just talked about, that Dalen Raiola and his future is very unknown. So again, hold on. There's somebody going reckless in the comment section right now. Sorry. I gotta put somebody in timeout. Anyways, I think you can reasonably infer that Dylan Raiola's future is unknown. Now, I also received confirmation from, so again, I talked to a lot of people. There's a lot of people who message me of all walks of life, whether they're from Nebraska, whether, again, I talked to a lot of people who know a lot of people. Let's put it at that. But this person, random person, texted me this morning, and he said, look at Dylan Raiola's most recent follows on Instagram. Look at who Dylan Raiola has followed most recently. And I said, okay, let me look. Let me look who Dylan's followed, because again, Dylan's very active on Instagram. He says he's not on social media. Dylan's on social media. So I'm like, okay, let's go see who Dylan's followed. And I go to his most recent following. What is it? It's Oregon player after Oregon player after Oregon player after Oregon player. And I'm like, huh. What? And I'm seeing Dante Moore. I'm seeing Jordan Davidson. I'm seeing the tight end Sadiq. I'm seeing Dan Lanning. And I'm like, what? And I go over to Dayton's Instagram and I say, okay, you know what? This is weird. Why would Dylan follow like 10 Oregon players and coaches today? And I go over Dayton's Instagram. What do I see? I see two of his most recent followings, Coach Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks. Huh. And don't get me wrong, Dayton's not good enough to go to Oregon. It's not like Oregon's recruiting Dayton, but they could be recruiting his brother. Again, so again, I'm not telling you anything here. I'm not, if anybody's saying, oh, Wilson's saying it's confirmed, Dylan's going to Oregon. No, I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, why would Dylan follow 10 Oregon players literally in the last 24 hours? Why would that happen? Under any circumstances. And we know that Oregon tampers. We know that Dylan Raiola already has a really good relationship with Dan Lanning. We know that Dylan Raiola today took down his profile picture of Nebraska on his Instagram. He used to have a picture of himself wearing Nebraska gear. Now it's just his logo, which is DR. There is no more Nebraska in his profile picture. So again, you can take that information and run with it. I'm not inferring anything based on that information. But that's crazy. I mean, the fact that somebody was texting me about that and it was confirmed, and this was the past 24 hours, also when Dayton decommitted, like those are connected. Those are dominoes. And I told you guys, like, again, the reason why this was so shocking is because Dayton didn't care about anything. He just wanted to team up with his brother, unless his brother would leave. That's the only thing that would have changed. Again, I told you guys in today's earlier video too, and I didn't want to mention this in the video, but I literally got like 10s and 20 comments. I got comments about it, I got texts about it. And again, we know that Dylan Raiola is very vocal on social media. He's very vocal on social media. He's very vocal on Instagram. And after every single game, Dylan's on there, he's hyping up the boys. And again, I want to make this very clear. I think Dylan Raiola is a great leader. So to the people who say, Wilson, you're bashing Dylan all the time, no. Anybody who watches my channel knows that I'm a Dylan supporter, and I've been that way. I was super high on Dylan in the offseason. I told you guys I think that he could be a Heisman finalist if everything goes right. So let's just get that narrative out here that I don't like Dylan, okay? But I'm just trying to report on what's going on here, what I'm trying to figure out. So anyways, going back to the story around Dylan Raiola, we know that every single game he's very vocal on social media. Okay, he's very vocal about, the wins, the losses. He's saying, oh, I love my brothers, this, that, and third. Okay. He gets injured. That's cool. And after the UCLA game, he's posting all this stuff ahead of the UCLA game. He's supporting TJ. And right after the UCLA game, when TJ goes out there, balls out, has a great game, Dylan's silent. Dylan's silent on social media. There's nothing on Dylan's Instagram story. There's nothing about, oh, TJ did a really good job. There's nothing about, oh, I'm really proud of my boys. So again, I'm not trying to infer anything there, and I didn't want to report that because I told people were asking me about that. And they said, Wilson, should we read into this? And I told everybody who told me that, I said, don't read into that. It doesn't, like, maybe Dylan's just not on social media this day. You don't have to be active 24/7. So I'm not reading into that, but I think the narrative sometimes that Dylan Raiola is this like phenomenal leader. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I mean, I think Dylan's a good leader. I really do. But like there was this narrative right before like TJ took over that this team was going to crumble without Dylan. That without Dylan, this team's a shell of themselves. Like, what? Like, Dylan's a good leader. Dylan's a fine quarterback. But, if we're crumbling from a culture standpoint, a team standpoint, when your starting quarterback goes down, probably a pretty big indication that your team isn't very good. And our team was better than that. Our team revolted around Dylan, right? Or excuse me, they revolved around Dylan, but also revolved around TJ, and they supported TJ. So I think the narrative that Dylan's this great leader, he's the number one leader on the team. Like, I think he's a great leader, but is he number one? I don't know about that. I don't know. I think from what I've heard, Deshaun Singleton's up there. From what I've heard, Sia Wright's up there. From what I've heard, Dane Key's up there. I think Dylan's up there too. So that's what I know. I also know that it was reported by the Husker Online team earlier today that Dayton decommitting has nothing to do with Dylan, which, again, I really do trust Sean Callahan and his reports. I think he does know what he's talking about. I think Sipple at times knows what he's talking about. But I will say this, like, the Husker Online team didn't even know Dayton was decommitting. So how am I supposed to believe that the Husker Online team has a scoop here and knows that, oh, Dylan's going to stay no matter what? I don't think that's the case. So, and I also told you guys this, like, again, let's get our emotions out of it. Let's get whatever you feel about Dylan. If you're super high on Dylan, if you're super low on Dylan, it doesn't matter. Okay. At the end of the day, what we think about Dylan doesn't matter. What matters is what he thinks about himself, what he thinks about the team, what he thinks about Nebraska. So let's get all of our emotions out of the equation. I want to ask you something. Let's put yourself in the shoes of Dylan Raiola right now. You have TJ Lateef, who is a very promising quarterback. I think we all agree that TJ is a far ways away. But, TJ, he's good right now, but he could be great. He could be elite. But I think TJ is a good quarterback right now. But from Dylan's shoes right now, he sees the fan base loving TJ, saying TJ's the future. Dylan, in his eyes, he kind of feels like, wow, people, they already forgot about me. You're also thinking to yourself, if you're Dylan, well, there might be a quarterback battle. There might be people who are calling for TJ to start. Why, in my expertise and my experience and with me in Nebraska these past 2 years, why would I go through a quarterback battle in my junior season? Okay, again, pull your emotions out of it, and you're in Dylan Raiola's shoes. Why would Dylan Raiola ever go through a quarterback battle when he can easily go to Miami, he can go to Oregon, who we just talked about, he can go to Alabama, he can go to Georgia for a lot of money, and you better believe those schools will want him. You better believe. Okay, Dylan Raiola is a good quarterback. He is a good quarterback. Teams will want him. He will be very, very highly offered, and he will be very highly paid. So why would Dylan Raiola stick around? Why? I'm not disputing that Dylan Raiola loves Nebraska. I believe he does. I believe the family loves Nebraska. I believe that he never really wants to leave here, but I don't think he wants to go. But I know he doesn't want to go through a quarterback battle. I know that too. And here's what I know for a fact. I know that Dylan Raiola and Dominic Raiola have a history. And the history is that, and I'm not even going to blame Dylan for this. This is on Dominic. This is on the dad. This is on the past Nebraska Cornhusker, the All-American. Dominic Raiola has a tendency to pull his kids out of school. Dylan Raiola transferred to 4 different high schools. He was at 4 different high schools throughout his time. Dayton was at, 3? And again, so I don't really know if loyalty's in Dominic's cards. Dominic's the one making the decision at the end of the day. Who do you think made the decision that Dayton decommitted today? Do you think it was Dayton? It wasn't Dayton. It was Dominic who made that decision. Dominic was the one who said, you know what, Dayton, this isn't in your best interest to go to Nebraska for whatever reason. So the same person who made the Dayton decision is going to make the Dylan decision. And Dominic has proven over these past 5 years that he's not loyal to any school, regardless of his affiliation, excuse me. So again, the loyalty thing's overstated. There is no loyalty in college football anymore. It doesn't matter who you are. It's all about getting to the league. It's all about the money nowadays. It doesn't matter about alma maters. It doesn't matter about any of that. So once again, I want to make myself very clear. Am I telling you right now for a fact that Dylan Raiola is leaving? No. No, I'm not. However, I'm telling you that when you read all of the signs, when you look at everything that we've seen with Dayton, with Dylan Raiola, with the TJ Lateef, with the money that's being floated around, it's very easy to believe that Dylan has a lot to do with this decision. Because again, Dayton would have not decommitted for playing time. He would have not decommitted for money. If he would have, he would have done a long time ago. He would have done a long time ago. We never ever see quarterbacks decommit 2 weeks until sign day. That's not a regular occurrence. Okay, it means something changed more than the playing time, and that changes Dylan. I also want to make this very clear that if Dylan Raiola were to leave, I think that's a bad outcome. I think a lot of people are just celebrating that because I think a lot of people love TJ, and I love TJ too. I've been on the TJ bandwagon for 2 years now. But I don't want Dylan to leave. Again, I told you guys the best case scenario for me is a quarterback battle. Now, again, I don't know how realistic that is because I know Dylan does not want to go through a quarterback battle, and you could argue TJ doesn't want to do that either. But if Dylan were to leave, it's not some celebration. It's not some great thing, okay? Because that's a 5-star quarterback who still has the potential to go to the league. Yeah, he did play some good football for us this year. He wasn't perfect. I mean, Dylan was not a perfect quarterback. He's far from it. We talk about it all the time. He's a far from a perfect quarterback. Through 3 interceptions versus Maryland, right? Through a couple of interceptions versus Michigan State. But despite all of that, Dylan Raiola is still responsible for a 7-3 record. He's still responsible for multiple comeback wins. He's still responsible for beating Cincinnati, which was a tough ball game. He's still responsible for coming back against Maryland, coming back versus Michigan State. So again, I'm not going to celebrate Dylan Raiola leaving like maybe some people will, even though I love TJ. And while there are, honestly, in my heart of hearts, people ask me, they say, do I think TJ has a better ceiling than Dylan? I think he does. I think he can. Because TJ's mobile and TJ fits the modern day NFL more. And TJ has just as good of an arm as Dylan. He can throw 50, 60 yards. He has great accuracy like you saw versus UCLA. He's a winner. He's a leader. He's very humble. TJ doesn't care about the money, you know? He doesn't care about the money. Like, and this is my thing about Dylan too, is like Dylan, and I try not to get my emotions involved in this, but I remember when I was a very up and comer YouTuber. Nobody was watching me back in the day. I was like, it was 3 years ago. And this was during the whole Dylan Raiola sweepstakes coming out of high school. I had like 400 subscribers. And Dylan Raiola decommitted from Ohio State, and every Nebraska fan was super excited. They're like, oh my goodness, you know, we're going to get Dylan, we're going to get this 5-star. And what did Dylan do? He said nope to Nebraska. He went over to Georgia. And I remember I made a video on the channel, and it was like in the summer, and again, I was like 16 years old. And I said, I love Dylan Raiola. I'm going to root for him at Georgia, but I'm never going to forget that. I'm never forget this because you can choose another school over us the first time. But if you choose a school over us the second time, it means you really never wanted to be here. And I remember saying that at 16 years old, and that was only 3 years ago. I'm only 19. But that still holds true. It took Dylan Raiola 3 times to commit to Nebraska. So the whole loyalty thing, I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it. So again, am I guaranteeing Dylan's gone? No, I'm not doing that. And I will be the first one. If Dylan were to leave, I will be very angry and I will be very sad. I'll be very angry and very sad. And I also want to make sure if Dylan leaves, I don't think it's Dylan's decisions. I think it's Dom's decision. I think it's Dominic. But to me, and I told you guys this, and it still rings true, it depends on how TJ Lateef performs these final 2 games. I mean, that's really it. Because I'm telling you, if TJ goes out there and beats Penn State in a bowl game that we're favored to lose by 10 points, and then he rolls into Iowa, everybody hates Iowa. We have not beat Iowa in a very long time. Well, we beat them in 22, but besides that, I haven't beat them in a very long time. We beat them once in the past 10 years. If TJ walks into Iowa and beats them at home to end the season and go 9-3, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? It doesn't matter what Matt Rule thinks. It doesn't matter what Dana Holgorsen thinks. The fan base and the boosters will be way too loud. They'll be calling for TJ left and right. Okay, and the Dylan Raiola era will unfortunately be over. That's just the way it goes. And I know a lot of people say, well, we don't want to make decisions based off of injuries. TJ would have never played if it weren't for injuries. I mean, you're right, but that's just how college football is nowadays. Okay, if you get injured, other people have opportunities to step up. They just do. So I think in my heart of hearts, Matt Rule probably never wants to bench Dylan. I think in my heart of hearts, Matt Rule will never give up on Dylan. And Dylan Raiola should never bench. Like, Dylan has a fine quarterback. But it doesn't matter what Matt Rule thinks. He's not going to make the decision. The boosters and the fans will make the decision. That's college football for you. Okay. That's the special and almost bad part about college football is sometimes the fans are just way too loud. And the boosters have all the control. Where if Matt Rule says the boosters, hey, we know TJ balled out, we know TJ went 3-0, but we're still rocking with Dylan. What do you think the booster are going to do? The booster are going to say, well, we're not going to give you money for the portal then because TJ's our guy. So the boosters got the money, but the boosters got the power. Again, it's just a very nuanced situation. And again, I told you guys, again, these next couple months are going to be absolutely insane. And one of these guys is going to leave. It's either going to be TJ and it's either going to be Dylan. It just depends on the way the season ends. But I don't think it can be understated the implications of Dayton decommitting today, the Instagram with supposedly, again, he's scrubbing Nebraska off his profile picture, him following a bunch of Oregon accounts the past 24 hours. The fact that Dylan, for whatever reason, didn't like repost anything about the UCLA game, which again, I told you guys I don't really care about all that, but people were asking me about it. It's just, is anybody sick of this? Like, this is just drama, man. This is just drama, you know? And college football is full of it. And people get mad at me. They say, Wilson, why are you reporting on this? It's just drama. College football is drama. Everything's drama. Do you see what's going on in the SEC right now? Do you see what's going on in Florida, LSU, Ole Miss, Alabama? College football is drama. So if you don't like drama, you might as well be an NFL fan because this is what the sport's about, man. But I just I hate talk. I hate the fact that we have two really good quarterbacks and likely one of them is going to be gone next year. That's what I'm very frustrated about more than anything else. Now I'm going to get the question. They'll say, well, who would you rather have? Would you rather have TJ? Would you rather have Dylan? I want both. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to pick either one. I'm not going to pick either one. But all right, that's the conversation around Dylan, around Dayton. Let's get in the comment section here. I also want to mention a couple other things. Here's some news from today. Danny Odom just received a 5th star for Nebraska. Corner commits in the class of 26. I literally called it on the channel. I said yesterday on the channel, I said he deserves a 5th star. I've been telling you guys that for literally a long time. I said Danny O's been playing like he deserves a 5th star. He got a 5th star. So I don't know. I'm telling you guys, like, these recruiting insiders might watch my stuff because this is like this has happened multiple times where I'll say a commit deserves a certain thing and they'll get a ranking. But that's shout out Danny O for getting that. All right, let's get in the comment section. I'm sure I'm going to get some crazy comments tonight here. Why would TJ leave if Dylan Raiola does? Wouldn't make any sense. TJ is not going to leave if Dylan does. It's either going to be one leaves and both aren't going to leave. Well, we got to pick one. And I told you guys this. Here's my worry, and this has been my worry for a long time. Has been Matt Rhule's just not going to entertain a quarterback battle no matter what. Even though the boosters have the power, even though the boosters are going to be calling for TJ, my worry is that because Matt Rhule will never give up on Dylan. Matt Rhule is best friends with Dylan. Matt Rhule and Dylan hang out off the field. My really big concern and worry is that at the end of the season, Matt Rhule is going to sit down with TJ. He's going to say, "Hey TJ, you had a really good game. You had a really good year. But we're going to roll back to Dylan, and you're going to be our backup." That's my worry. My worry is that he's not even going to entertain a quarterback battle. Because, again, for whatever reason, and this is just the facts, Matt Rhule has never benched a quarterback at Nebraska. He never benched Jeff Sims. He never fired a coach. So you don't have to take my word for it. Just look at the track record. Matt Rhule does not have a tendency of making tough decisions. Do we really think that he's going to make a tough decision here? I don't know. And that's unfortunate, right? That's unfortunate. I don't have that belief in my head coach. But again, that's not my opinion. That's just the track record. And I just don't know if I'm going to sit here and proclaim right now that Matt Rhule's going to make the best choice, because Matt Rhule is the same guy who gives us the politician speech every single time. He says to us, the offensive line is going to be the best in America. The defensive line is going to be hell on wheels. He said Jeff Sims would be an All-American. Like, I don't know if Matt Rhule is really the type of guy that I want to listen to when it comes to quarterback evaluations. Again, I hate to say that about my head coach, and you guys know me, I love Matt Rhule more than anything. Like, I end every single one of my videos with "Go Matt Rhule," but man, like, he has a bad record with these quarterbacks, and he even said on Monday, he kind of reiterated the fact that TJ's going to be our backup. So I'm just worried. I'm worried that there's not going to be a quarterback battle. But again, I think it's trending to that way because of the fact that Dayton decommitted today. So JuJu Johnson update. Yeah, good comment. So yeah, JuJu Johnson. We'll talk about this tomorrow on the channel too. We'll have a big time recruiting update on the channel tomorrow. But JuJu Johnson, he will be committing on December 1st. If you guys don't know who that is, that's a 5-star corner in the class of 27 who's down in Nebraska. A couple other schools in there: Oregon, Arizona State, Oklahoma, I believe Alabama are the 5. So JuJu Johnson, he's down to pretty much Nebraska, Oklahoma, and USC, or I think it's Oregon. And he's going to commit to Oklahoma. Unfortunately, JuJu Johnson will not be a Cornhusker. So that's pretty bad news there. Yeah. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. What school do you think Dayton's going to go to now? I mean, it depends where Dylan's going, man. If Dylan leaves, he's going to follow Dylan. If Dylan leaves, he's going to follow Dylan. But if he's really calling a shot, if he wants to go play elsewhere, he might go to an FCS school. I mean, seriously, I think he'll probably be an FCS guy. He's not good enough for the Power 4 ranks. I mean, he has 2 Group of 5 offers. I think he'll go FCS. Or which is the more likely outcome, he'll just follow Dylan if Dylan were to leave. So that's what's going to happen there. But again, we will get a lot of clarity in these next 2 weeks because here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to have some very very limited players in the who enter the transfer portal next week. There's going to be a lot of transfer portal news. Then after the Iowa game, we're going to have a lot of players enter the portal. There's going to be some coaches who leave. I mean, that's just the way. That's the sport. That's a coaching carousel. And that's going to be busy December. And that's when we're going to find out what's going to happen to Dylan probably right after the Iowa game. Okay, probably that Monday, that Sunday after the Iowa game, we'll find out because technically he can't enter the portal until January, but he'll say his intent to enter the portal. And we know that tampering happens either way. It doesn't like just because the portal opens up in January doesn't mean anything. Like the portal, for all intended purposes, the portal opens up in December like it normally does. Like because again, people are just going to enter no matter what. The NCAA, I mean, come on, the NCAA has no power anymore. I'm not going to read that comment. What will the playbook look like versus Penn State? I mean, it'll be very similar to the UCLA game. I wouldn't say too conservative, but it'll be Emmett Johnson, RPO, zone reads, kind of an old school Dana offense, man. I'm excited to see it because again, I told you guys like I think Dana got in his bag with TJ, man. I think like Matt Rule, we know Matt Rule loves Dylan, but I think honestly Dana's been waiting to get TJ in there because again, TJ brings this offense a new element and gives them some more life in his play calls. Brett, he says, if Dylan does in fact leave, and thank you for the super chat. If you guys want to cover it, instantly put in super chat. He says, if Dylan does in fact leave, how many guys on the roster do we lose to the portal? Didn't we have some really good guys that only came because of Dylan? Oh, certainly. I mean, honestly, that's really good. That's a really good comment, Brett. Yeah, we'll lose some pieces for sure. I wouldn't say we'll lose too many because of Dylan alone, but I mean, we'll lose some just because of the circumstances for sure. I mean, I'm trying to think who it would be. I mean, Nyziah is one to watch out for because Nyziah partially the reason he came here is because of Dylan, but Nyziah might leave anyways just because again he's going to be one of the most highly sought after wide receivers in America. He's going to be tampered with. You better believe it. So I'm a little bit worried about Nyziah. Running back position. I mean, like Isaiah Mozee, somebody to watch out for. Like Mozee came here because of Dylan. Really, I mean, he came here because of Dylan's dad, but his dad's still here, so I don't think Mozee's going to leave. Jeremiah Jones isn't here because of Dylan. I don't know. I don't think there's gonna be too many who leave because of Dylan. Maybe Carter Nelson. Somebody said Carter Nelson. That's a good one. That's a good one. Jacory Barney. Jacory Barney never came here because of Dylan. He committed before Dylan came here, so I don't think Jacory's locked in. Even though Jacory might leave for other reasons. Jacory might leave because he's gonna be tampered with. I don't know. But I think Jacory's locked in. I'm not worried about Jacory leaving. I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, like I'm worried about the main players I'm worried about leaving are Nyziah Hunter for sure, number one. Carter Nelson, I'm kind of worried about him, even though I've kind of given up on Carter Nelson at this point, just because you know pretty quickly with some players who are big time recruits if they're it or not. And with Carter, it's kind of clear he's not it. There's some going on there. Running backs, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if any running back left. I think Quinn Ives might leave. I kind of would be mad if Marcos Davila left at this rate, given the uncertainty at the quarterback spot, but he's probably pretty much gone. Andrew Marshall is someone I'm watching out for. So again, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in some later videos for sure. What does TJ need to do the rest of the season to win the starting job for Raiola? Win out. Simple as that. He needs to win out. I mean, he cannot afford to lose a single game. If he loses to Penn State but beats Iowa, it's not going to be enough. He's got to win out. And again, the bowl game result doesn't really matter. He can lose the bowl game, but if you win these next two games, he's our guy. He's our guy. And again, it doesn't matter what Matt Rule thinks. It matters what the fans think. And it matters what the boosters think. And Dana. Honestly, Dana is the one making the decision. And Dana's not going to hold back. Dana has no preference. What is Amir Brown waiting on? Man, I'm not sure, bro. I'm not sure. Again, from what I've heard, it should be soon. But you never know with these recruits, man. These recruits, they'll wait and they'll draw it out. So I feel good about it. It's kind of like Tay Ellis though. Tay Ellis did the same thing. Where like we always knew Tay was going to commit to Nebraska, like since pretty much June. We knew Tay was going to commit to the Huskers, and he just waited up until now to commit. So yeah. Noah says, does either Dylan or TJ leaving have any impact on EJ? I mean, it probably solidifies what we already know. I mean, like if Dylan were to leave, it probably brings Emmett's chances of coming back from 2% to 1%. Like again, Emmett's gone, guys. Emmett's gone. I mean, I will tell you right now, I truly believe there is almost a 0% chance Emmett comes back, unless you were to be like injured these next two games, which of course is a terrible outcome. But again, why would Emmett come back? Why? Like, again, take your emotions out of it. Take your Nebraska fandom out of it. Think about a professional and a money standpoint, NFL standpoint. Why would he come back? Okay. He's not making more money here. He's going to get paid seven figures. Even like he'll be like a fifth round pick. Fifth round picks make seven figures. He's getting paid more than the NFL. So the money, he wouldn't come back for money. Success, I mean, you could argue he might come back for success, but I mean, we have a tough schedule next year. I don't think he thinks we're going to make the playoffs next year. You could argue, well, he might be in the Heisman race next year for accolades. Well, the running back room is not going to be as good next year. The running back room is going to, or excuse me, running back room will be better next year. Okay, we're going to add probably transfer to this room next year. So Emmett Johnson's a really good player. He's a top 10 running back in America. He's exceeded my expectations. I told you guys Emmett was good, not great. I was wrong. Emmett's he's even better than great. He's elite. But anyways, even if Emmett comes back next year, we're going to have another stud running back in this room. And it's going to be a running back by committee situation. Like, I'll give you an example. Pragon Henderson at Ohio State, true freshman, he was a bell cow running back. He was awesome. But he never had that production ever again because they ended up getting transfers there to help him out. And they had, again, a running back by committee situation, which, again, no matter how good your running back is in modern day college football, you need committee. Okay, really, bell cows just aren't the move, regardless how good you have. Like, again, like, for example, yeah, you go back to Ohio State. Like, they had Peoples, who's a really good running back, and they brought in Donaldson, who's the West Virginia transfer. It doesn't matter how good your running back is, you always got to bring in another one. Notre Dame has Jeremiah Love, arguably the best running back from an upside standpoint in America, but he's not even a bell cow. Jeremiah Love is not a bell cow back. They have Janiran Pierce or Price, who also gets carries. So again, Emmett coming back would not just automatically mean that he's going to get more stats. So again, there's no incentive for him to return. And also, just take my word from, I don't want to give you my cards here, but when I tell you guys I talk to people, I talk to people. And when Emmett entered the portal last year, I talked to people. And you can infer who that was. And you guys know, if you guys been subbed to the channel, we talked a lot about the Emmett situation last year, why he entered the portal, why he came back. A lot of intel there that wasn't widely available. Where do you think that info came from? And then now the info that I'm telling you right now that Emmett's pretty much gone. What do you think? That's not me just speculating. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. And that's not some random, oh, he says, she says type of stuff. That's from the direct, again, that's just the way it goes. So I think Emmett's gone. I really do. The only way I see Emmett returning is, again, injury, which would be terrible. Nobody should root for that outcome. Or, I mean, or if we pay him literally like an insane amount of money, like $2 million. If we pay him $2 million, he might return. That's about it, though. That's about it. But again, I'll say 95% chance. Troy says, will this recruiting class set Nebraska back any further? Again, if you guys want to comment, right, instantly put in a super chat. Okay, well, let me rephrase this. Well, this recruiting set Nebraska back any further? I don't think so, because we're going to get a lot. We'll fix this recruiting class the next 2 weeks. Like, we're going to get some JUCOs. We'll talk about it tomorrow on the channel, talk about it Friday. It's going to be busy 2 weeks, guys. It's going to be busy 2 weeks. Just know that. It's going to be busy. It's going to be busy. It's going to be busy. If Emmett goes your way too early landing spot, I mean, he's going to be like a third or fourth round pick. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Honestly wouldn't mind if my Washington Commanders picked him up, man. But we'll see. But it's way too early. It's way too early in the process. Has Emmett graduated? I believe he's graduating this spring. This spring he's graduating. He's a fourth-year player. He's a fourth year. I just think it's, and I think a lot of fans who are like, oh, it's guaranteed Emmett's coming back. First off, your emotions are getting too involved. And number two, I think some of it's just selfish. Like, you're rooting for the team over Emmett's best interest. And it's definitely in Emmett's best interest to go to the NFL. No question about it. It's in his best interest. And Emmett's already at 22 years old. Emmett's an old back. The NFL does not like old backs. They do not like old running backs. So why would he stay at Nebraska, be 23, tank his draft stock? I mean, Emmett could put up a very similar year next year, and he would have a worse draft stock simply because of the fact that he's older. So I just think some people are kind of selfish. It's just best for Emmett. And one thing I'll give Matt Rule credit for. Matt Rule's a very genuine guy, and Matt Rule will keep it buck with these guys. And Matt Rule will meet with Emmett in a couple weeks, and I'm sure he's already met with Emmett about this. And he'll say, Emmett, you know what? It's in your best interest to leave. While we'd love to have you, and we'll pay you a lot if you come back, it is in your best interest to leave and to go to the NFL. And I think that's a conversation that's already been had and will continue to be had. So it is what it is. And again, and we also know that we cannot just replace Emmett with whoever's just currently on this roster. And I was going to talk about this in today's video before, of course, we had breaking news, so I ended up scrapping the video. But hold on. Somebody just put something very interesting in my comment section. Anyways, what was I saying? Where was I at? Somebody put something in my comment section I just read and I lost my train of thought. Gosh, what was I talking about? I was talking about Emmett. Anyways, gosh, I lost it. I lost it because I read this. I read this comment. I read this comment. It said Dylan has unfollowed 12 people on Instagram in the past 5 minutes. I mean, that's a coincidence, eh? That must be a coincidence. Must be a coincidence, guys. I'm telling y'all. This is why I need to watch my words. I need to watch my words, bro. That's why I need to watch my words because I'm telling y'all, people watch my stuff, man. People watch my stuff. Dylan unfollowed. Dylan unfollowed 12 people on Instagram in the last 5 minutes. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. I don't know. Okay, what was I saying? I read that comment and I'm like, and I forgot what I was saying. Talking about Emmett. Anyways, Emmett's gone. Emmett's gone. I was talking about the future of the running back room. That's what I was talking about. Anyways, we know that we can't replace Emmett's production with whoever's in this room already. Okay, so we have Isaiah Mozee, who's cool, but Isaiah's never going to be a bell cow back. We know that we have Mekhi Nelson, who's obviously a huge question mark. We have Quinn Ives, who's probably not going to be here next year. We have Jamal Rule, who I think is kind of like an Emmett Johnson 2.0, where I think Jamal Rule could be really, really good. But I don't know if Emmett's going to, I don't know if he's going to take time. He's going to take time. Let's just put it at that. So we got to get at least one or two transfers at the running back position, at the very minimum. At the very minimum to replace Emmett's production because we just don't have somebody on the roster who can do that. And Jamarion Parker's cool, but Jamarion Parker's a big wild card. And Connor Booth, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, very, very interesting. I was gonna talk about that today on the channel. What's funny about that is I was talking about Dayton on the channel today, and I again scrapped the video. So we'll have a transfer portal wish list video come out next week. That's very interesting though, guys. Somebody just report again. Somebody. Okay, so the people who are just joining, I told you guys that I received a message earlier today that Dylan followed 12 Oregon players the past 24 hours. And apparently Dylan just unfollowed all of them after I mentioned it in the live stream. Oh man. I wasn't trying to infer anything. I wasn't trying to infer that he was going to Oregon. I'm just saying that was weird. That was weird. That's crazy though. Dylan might be watching, but there's definitely, I'm telling you, people watch the channel, man. It's the way it goes. Recruits watch the channel, players watch the channel, coaches watch the channel. I'm sure somebody's watching the live stream and gave Dylan a text, say, hey, you got to unfollow all these people. You got to unfollow all these Oregon players because Wilson's talking about it. I want to set the record straight. I never said Dylan's going to Oregon. I want to set the record straight. I just said I thought that was interesting given the circumstances, given what's going on right now. But obviously, I'm not gonna read into that. That's interesting. Are you sure about that, Dylan? Are you sure that he unfollowed those Dane Lanning and stuff? That's wild, bro. That's wild. That's wild, man. Breaking news on the channel. Breaking news. Anyways, I'm trying to wrap my brain around that. Wow. What do you guys think Dylan's secretly watching this? Dylan secretly. Dylan, we support you, man. We support you. We're hoping you stick around for a quarterback battle, though. Anyways, Harrison says TJ makes Nebraska's offense much more dangerous than Dylan ever could. I wish him well, but TJ is the future. Go Big Red. I don't know. I'm not there yet. Again, TJ, we got to see it again. You guys know I'm a big TJ truther. I've always been a big TJ truther, but we got to see it again. And we got to see him beat Penn State. And we got to see him beat Iowa. And hopefully he can go to the bowl game and win that as well. Okay. I'm worried that with a full week of preparation with Penn State getting ready to go, seeing the film on TJ, I'm worried he's not gonna be the same player a little bit. That's in the back of my mind. It's in the back of my mind. Dallas says that Dylan unfollowed Dane Lanning. He probably did. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just thought that was weird though. Was that not weird to anybody else that he followed 12 Oregon players the past 24 hours and then I mentioned on the live stream and he unfollowed all of them? Man, gosh, dude. I didn't try to. And now people are gonna get mad at me because if Dylan leaves, they'll be like, "You started this, Wilson, by mentioning the Oregon thing." I'm just talking, man. I'm just talking. I mean, college football is crazy, dude. It's crazy. I love it though, man. That's why I cover it. Anyways, Let's get back in the comment section. That was a weird distraction. That was crazy. Tribal Chief says, which bowl game do you believe Nebraska will go to? I'm thinking Tampa right now. I'm thinking Tampa or Nashville. I would love Orlando. I would love Orlando. If we win out, I think we could make Orlando. I'll tell you this: if we go to Orlando, I'm there. I will really love to go to Orlando. But I feel like Nashville would just be terrible. Like, okay, the only people who want to go to Nashville are people who live close to Nashville. But Nashville is just it's cold, it's dreary. We played in that bowl game recently against Tennessee. Like, why would we go to Nashville? I would much rather go to Tampa or Orlando. So, but I'm betting on Tampa right now for sure. I'm betting on Tampa. I'm betting on Tampa. Who would we play in the bowl game? I don't like what quarterback, running back. Got to be more specific, my man. Jackson, thank you for the super chat. Whoever said Raiola was following Lanning on Instagram is lying. He's following Dante more, but that's all I see. Yeah, no, that's the big thing, Jackson. That was the big thing is that he unfollowed him during the live stream, apparently. No, because I kid you not, because again, I got this text from like 5 different people this morning who said, "Look at Dylan's following. He's following all these people. He's following Dane Lanning." Okay, so I pull up the list. I pull up and he's following Dane Lanning, and apparently he just unfollowed Dane Lanning like a couple minutes ago. So again, I don't know. I don't know. So it's you guys are I'm gonna get myself in trouble. I'm gonna get myself in trouble. Again, I wasn't inferring anything. I wasn't inferring anything. I just thought it was interesting, guys. I just thought I get myself in so much trouble, man. I talk about what I think is interesting and people get mad at me for it. I get people mad at me for it. But yeah, no. I mean, again, I don't want to infer, but again, I'm just guessing that somebody, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, all right, let's get back to it. Let's get off of that. Let's get off of that subject. I'm thinking about it. I'm kind of I don't know what to think about that. All right, let's get back. Let's stop talking about the Instagram. Nathan says, "What do you think about Pritchett? He's played pretty. What do you think about Pritchett? He's played pretty good the last few games. Maybe he could be good next year. I'm really proud of Elijah. And you guys know me. Like I was harsh on Elijah. I was harsh when we took him. I was harsh during the offseason. I was harsh during fall ball just because." Like these Alabama fans would tell me all the time, they'd be like, Elijah Pritchett's terrible. And I'm like, I haven't seen him, but maybe, I mean, like the statistics were pretty awful, right? Um, so I mean, obviously had a very tough start of the year. Obviously, was terrible in the past, bro. Had some false start issues as well, but I mean, these past 3 games have been incredibly impressive. And I told you guys, like, I'll give credit what credit's due, and my credit goes to Elijah Pritchett, man. He's been balling. So hopefully we see it again. And I don't think he's going to leave anyways, because like if he were to leave, where's he going to go? He's going to go to like some bum school. So I'm sure he's going to stick around. But I mean, we need competition all over the roster. Like we should not just give him the job next year, right? We should not just hand the job over to Elijah Pritchett. Like there should be a left tackle battle, and hopefully we bring in somebody to battle with him, man. But he's been playing really good. He's been playing really good. I love again the entire offense line's played well recently. Like Rocco's been getting better, even though Rocco has literally a broken finger. He's been playing better. So a lot of good stuff there. Nebraska versus Oregon next year. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yep. How is Satterfield still employed? Well, it's because we didn't want because if we fired him, we had to pay a buyout. So we just said, you know what, Satterfield, we're going to make you the tight end coach. We're not going to pay a buyout. And then after this year, he's probably still gonna be the tight end coach, but he's gonna pay a lot less money. So yeah, I don't know. Again, we know that Matt Rhule and Sat are best friends. So I mean, he's not done the worst job being our tight end coach. I'll give him credit. I'll give him credit. Like I'm not a Sat hater. I'm not a Sat hater. I didn't like him as an OC, but I think he's been okay. He's been okay developing. Like Luke Lindmar's like a huge step, right? Haarberg, I mean, Haarberg was never going to be like an All American his first year tight end, but Haarberg's done about as good as you could do, right? Go down the list. So I've been impressed with that. Texas versus Nebraska in the ReliQuest Bowl. See it. I think Texas is going to probably make the Citrus Bowl. I think they're going to probably make the best bowl game that's not the playoffs. So I don't think they're going to make Tampa. But I would love that. I'd love to play Texas. That'd be fun, man. I would love Texas, Missouri, or Tennessee. Those are the three. Those are the three. That'd be really fun. If Donovan does get fired after the season, who do we replace him with? It's just too early to say, man. I mean, there's just so much that's going to happen. There's going to be coaches get fired. It's going to be wild. So I don't think he's going to get. I don't think he's going to leave unless I don't know. I mean, there's just so much in the air. It's hard to predict what's going on now because again, Dylan might leave, Dylan might stay, Donovan might leave, Donovan might stay. We don't know. So it's TBD there. TBD. Sam Pittman, I don't think Sam Pittman's gonna require a lot of money. He's going and Sam Pittman might just retire, honestly. Sam Pittman might just say, you know what? I'm done coaching. I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him, man. I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him. Mike says, "What sources do you have that Dylan is leaving?" Zero sources. I told you guys that I do not know anything about this. I don't know Dylan's leaving. I told you guys that there's some clues. I gave you guys the clues, but I literally started off the show by saying that that I don't know for a fact anything. I mean, I'll tell you guys what I know about certain stuff, but like, no, I'm not in Dylan's ear. What source do I have? Like, Mike, how have you just tuned into the show? Like this is why I don't understand. People make assumptions. They'll be like, "What source do you have?" Like I didn't say. I told you guys multiple times. I don't know that Dylan's leaving. I'm just and this is all speculation. That's why this is a live stream, so I can get your input, you can get my input, and we talked about the clues. We talked about the facts behind the matter. That's I mean just weird comment. It's a weird comment, man. What sources do you have? Even if I did have a source, even if I knew for a fact, well, I would not tell you. Like that doesn't. Like, people say that they're like last year, obviously, when all the Emmett stuff went down, they're like, "Well, who's your source?" Like, well, yes, I'm going to tell my source to 10,000 people. Like, that makes no sense. Again, I told you guys, like, I'm not an insider. I like the narrative that I have, like these million sources. I don't. But again, players watch the channel. They do objectively. Like there was a couple days ago, a player commented on my video showing support. Right, recruits watch the channel, parents watch the channel. So you can just draw between the lines where I get certain information from, where I give you these recruiting updates from. So, but again, I'm not an insider. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber who's gained friendships because people watch the channel. People it is what it is. All right. Anyways, my opinion. Rule took this opportunity to tell Dylan and Dayton that Dom was getting fired at the end of the season. That pride made Dylan's mind up, and pride Dylan's too. I don't know. I feel like they'd get out somehow though. Like the thing about college football is that there's so many leaks. I feel like if that were to happen, it would have got out. It would have gotten out. And it's probably in Nebraska's best interest if that got out. So they started finding an offensive line coach as quick as possible. Because again, if they were to get rid of Donovan, there would already be a leak that they're going after offensive line coach. So they're trying to hire somebody, right? Because again, that's just going to happen. That naturally happens in the process. So again, I don't think that's the case. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's the case. Jeff says can't reveal my source, but Dylan will not be back next year. I love it when some random people are here. I can't reveal my source. Like Jeff, come on, you don't got a source. You don't got a source. You don't got to be acting cool here. Oh, I got a source straight from Dylan. Come on. Nobody knows anything, and that's college football. That's just the way it goes. No, like I don't think any insider know. I don't think Sean Callahan knows what's definitively what's going on. I don't think Simple does. I don't think go down the line. I don't think even Tom Chattel or whatever. I don't know who the insiders are nowadays, but. I don't even know if Matt Rule knows, right? Like the source. Crazy, man. College football's funny though, for that exact reason. For that exact reason. Indiana has the other Mendoza brother. They do. They do. If Dylan was a real leader, he'd tell the coach. If Dylan was a real leader, he'll tell the coach he doesn't want to run at 10 to 15 yards out in front of the rest of the team out of the tunnel. Real leaders stand by side to side. I don't necessarily agree with that, Mikey Mike. I think that's being a little bit too tough on him. Like he's the figurehead of the university. Yeah, and he's supposedly the number one leader of this team. Like, of course he's going to lead the team out of the tunnel, be the number one guy. You know what I mean? I don't. I think that's. See, some people are too harsh on Dylan for like random stuff. Like that's random. Okay, that's random. Like Dylan walking the team out. Like, come on, let's not get mad about Dylan for doing that. Like that doesn't make any sense. But I don't know. That's yeah. Uh, Dayton will go to Northwestern State. Come on, come on. Dylan and Matt Rule go to Penn State now. Matt Rule's not going to Penn State. Matt Rule's not going to Penn State. There was like a flight tracker yesterday that there was a flight between Lincoln to State colleges. Does this mean Matt Rule's gone? Like, of course there's a flight. We played them in literally 3 days. Of course there's probably one private plane going between those two places, man. My sources say that Jalen and Malachi Coleman will come back. Everybody got sources, and I can guarantee you neither of those guys will come back. I can guarantee you. Jake says, "Who's your favorite Husker media personality?" It's a good question. Besides myself, I gotta say myself. No. Um, I'm not gonna lie. I told you guys like I don't really watch Nebraska YouTube. Um, like I used to watch a little bit about Nebraska. When before I was big, I would watch what was it, the backseat sports or whatnot. Those two guys. Bigger at Home Center, whatever they're called now. I used to watch those guys like growing up. I'd say like from a media standpoint, I like Sipple. I'm not gonna lie. Sipple's so funny, dude. He's just so funny. And Sipple has some good takes. Like Sipple's kind of old, and sometimes Sipple like forgets names and he gets names wrong and people give him a hard time. But Sipple's just naturally super funny, dude. Like I love that Sipple. I love that Sipple is now on the Husker Online show because I literally watched the show just to watch him because he's so funny. Simple is the best. So I gotta say Simple number one. I don't know, like I don't really listen to the radio too much because I think a lot of the radio personalities are just weirdos, man. I just think like yeah, there's a lot of them are just weird. Like if you do Nebraska as a living, like for me, like I'm 19, like I don't know if I'm gonna do this as a living, but like if you're talking on the radio for a living, I don't know. I do like David Betting though. I like David Betting. DB's cool. DB's a really nice guy. So I'll probably say Sipple, DB. I'm probably missing one, like a personality. I like. I'll stick with those two. I can't think of them. Somebody says, "Oh, Compton." I don't even count. I don't even count Compton, but yeah, Compton's cool. I like Compton a lot. I like Compton a lot. Compton's my guy. Michael Severe. I do like Severe. Severe keeps it real too, bro. Severe keeps it real. Severe will tell you what you don't want to hear, but you have to hear. And that's kind of honestly, that's kind of what I base my channel off is because Severe will literally like Severe revealed everything around the Scott Frost drama. We like when all these other media reporters didn't report on Scott Frost and his drinking habits and all the other rumors. Severe told you. Severe told you what was up. So I will forever respect Severe for doing that. I will forever respect him for doing that. But I don't listen to again. I'm not listening to like the radio too much, but I do like Severe from time to time. What happened to the bigger Homestead guys? I got no idea, bro. I think they quit, man. Life happens, man. Life happens. Just what goes on. Um, Dame Benning, Kyle Crooks, Jessica Cootie. Yeah, Kyle Crooks, dude, he's a good commentator, man. He's a good commentator. Big Red Rant. Yeah, dude, I just recently reached out. I don't even remember. I think one of the Big Red Rant guys followed me on Twitter, and I followed him back. It's the main guy, it's the Gabe guy, and I see his stuff from time to time. I told you guys I don't really watch Nebraska YouTube, but I'm aware of them. I'm aware of the other guys who make content. And I texted Gabe, I think his name is, and I said, "Hey, you do a really good job," and he said likewise. So shout out to Big Red Rant. Those guys are allies of the channel, allies of the channel. But I'm on good terms with all the YouTubers. Like me and Cork Praise are on good terms. Um, I talked to Cork Praise a little bit a while ago, and me and Adam are on good terms. Adam wanted me to be on his like website like 2 years ago, and I declined because that was when I was still growing. That was when I was like blowing up, and I was like, I don't know if I want to tie myself down to a website just yet. But I got a lot. Again, I got a lot of support for all the Nebraska content creators. And I always try again, there's always like a young Nebraska content creator, I try to support them because there's no competition, man. It's just all love, bro. It's all love. But I truly believe, and I say this not trying to go at any other content creator, but I truly believe we're the best family here on Husky YouTube. I truly believe that for a fact. For a fact, I do. Because again, the comment section, man, the family guy here is second to none. It's second to none. Wilson, you should leak your score prediction. Nah, man, that's confidential, dude. That's confidential. It's coming out Friday morning. Um, Yeah, it's confidential. Just have to wait out for that one, man. I'm excited. Again, I got a good feeling. I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. I think my top two are Wilson and Carricker. Yes, sir, man. Carricker's my guy. Carricker's my guy. He does good stuff. He's some good stuff, man. I like Carricker. I will say though, I like Carricker on the radio a little more. 'Cause I think Carricker's unfiltered on the radio, but then like on his YouTube channel, sometimes he's a little bit more filtered. I like Carricker with like, and sometimes he'll go on collabs with other people, and Carricker will keep it real. Like Carricker will kind of go, he'll tell you what he really thinks. But I like Carricker. He does a really good job. All the YouTubers do a good job. Rob Jadica has very very odd takes. I don't watch him. Not gonna lie, I don't watch him. I honestly, I think I follow. I think he follows me on Twitter, but I don't watch his stuff. There's just so many, man. There's so many out there. There's so many. I just like the reason I just try to keep my content relevant. Like a lot of these YouTubers, sometimes they'll talk about like random stuff. I just try to talk about the pressing stuff, the recruiting. You know what I mean? The stuff that's worthy being talked about. So, but yeah, is your score prediction a shocker? I maybe you. It depends on what you define a shocker. I could say so. I could say so. It could be. DB would have started many other places. Yeah, DB's a stud, man. Great Husker. Great Husker. Great son too, man. Great son. I wish Don Morello would do some interviews or get back into the school. I mean, we'll see, man. His legacy really relies on whether or not Dylan stays here, right? So we'll see. We'll see. Character is the best. Tim says character is the best. The rest suck. Your content's pretty good too. I'll take second. I'll take second. I will say I'm more consistent than character though. I will say character, that's my guy, but he takes breaks. I tell you guys, like there are YouTubers who will take breaks from January to July who only make content like five of the 12 months of the year. Like we don't do that here. We work incredibly hard here every single day, twice a day. I'm doing twice a day videos. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm in college, man. I got other stuff to do, but I love it. I love the grind. I love the family here, man. I love the family. So, but I love Carricker. Again, I got nothing but good things to say about Carricker. That's not a shot at him. I'm just saying. I think from a news standpoint, from a that we're number one, no question about it. But that's me talking about Nebraska YouTube. I know some people are going to get offended. If let's stop. Let's stop talking about Nebraska YouTubers because there'll be somebody who'll be like, oh, I didn't mention a certain YouTuber. Like, I don't. I don't know all of them. I don't know all of them, man. Let's see. Sam says TJ fit what Dana wants to do with the offense more than Dylan does. I know Dylan's talented. UCLA isn't that good, but our offense looks more efficient against UCLA, which is what it's supposed to be. Yeah. Again, I think there's a very real chance that maybe Dana prefers TJ in the offense. But Dana said all offseason long that Dylan was going to be some Heisman guy. You know what I mean? So I'm not making excuses now. I'm not making excuses now saying that maybe Dana might prefer TJ. Like Dana was the same guy who propped up Dylan all offseason. So I don't know, but I think TJ gives this offense no question an element that Dylan does not provide with his legs, and also I mean let's just call a spade a spade. TJ has an ability to get outside the pocket. TJ has ability to make plays off script more than Dylan ever has. Like that was the best part about Dylan's game back at Buford back in high school is that what Dylan would do is Dylan would again when the pocket would break down, Dylan would roll. He wouldn't scramble with his legs, but he'd make some crazy off script. That was the best part about Dylan's game, and that's the best part about Mahomes' game, Diego Pavia's game, Josh Allen's game. Right? You go to good college quarterbacks, good NFL quarterbacks. The best part about their game is they can make plays off script. Dylan, we have never seen that at Nebraska. We have never seen him make plays off script. We've seen TJ make plays off script in all 4 games he's played at this year. So he definitely gives this offense an element. My man, Jesus Saves, my new moderator in the chat. Thank you for the $20. He says, don't know if it was mentioned. The boy Odom is a 5-star now. Believe in Lateef, the truth, next man up mentality. Let's take over Happy Valley. You're darn right, my man. You're darn right. Yeah, bro. Danny Odom deserved it, man. We called it. We called it on the channel. I was calling for him. I was calling for Daniel to get his fist already got it. So that's crazy though that we have. I mean, in 3 of our last 4 classes, we've had 5-star prospects. We had Dylan, we had now Danny, and now we got Tori. Like that's crazy. And Trey's probably gonna be 5-star too. So recruiting's on the up, man. Even though the 26th class kind of looks suspect. The worst by the mile is Mitch Sherman. Come on, we're not doing that here. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not calling out people, certain journalists. I think Mitch Sherman keeps it real too a little bit too. I respect it. I just respect it if journalists keep it real. That's what I respect more than anything. Like don't lie to us. That's what I just feel like there's way too many YouTubers and beat reporters especially who are just positive vibes all the time and they just lie. They'll act like a certain player is an All-American or they'll refuse to comment on the negatives. Like college football, I mean, there's going to be some negatives. It always happens. You're never going to be perfect every year. So I don't know. I just respect it when people keep it real and are honest because that's why I try to bring on the channel. With our very easy schedule in 27, we're going 10-2. That's too far away, man. We have no idea what the roster's gonna look like then. We got no idea. We got no idea. If Devin Jackson didn't care about money more than development, he would be a Husker. I don't know. That's not true. That's not true. Because he's going to Oregon. Oregon develops better than us. Let's be honest. Let's be honest, Grant. He's going to Oregon. Oregon is an NFL factory. Dane Lanning's a heck of a coach. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. All right, let's get back in the comment section here. Keep putting your stuff in here, guys. What are we at? What are we at likewise on the stream here, real quick? I gotta make sure we hit our total on likes. What are we at? Let's get to 100 likes. Are we at 100? We are at we hit on. Let's hit 120. Everybody hit a like button on the stream. Let's get back in the comment section here. I'd say we'll go for about 20, 30 more minutes. As long as you guys have stuff to talk about. I got a big accounting exam tomorrow though, guys. I got a big accounting exam. I gotta lock in tonight at the library for my big accounting 202 exam. Managerial accounting. Is there anyone we're trying to flip before sign day? Yeah, multiple. We'll talk about it tomorrow on the channel. It'll be a very big topic these next 2 weeks, trust me. But multiple defensive linemen, 1 or 2 DBs, 1 wide receiver, 1 offensive lineman. Matt Rule said the other day, he said we're only going to take two or more players in this class. That's definitely not true. That's definitely not true. I think we're going to take probably 4. With the way, I mean, they're going to have like 10, 26 players visit for the Iowa games. How can you say we're only going to take 2 more? This guy just keeps spamming this comment. Is Wilson like the Raiola cartel in Lincoln? No, it's the deep state, man. It's the deep state, not the cartel. Come on, cartel. That makes it sound worse. Love Sean Callahan, but he doesn't say anything bad. Spins it every time, but by bringing up the past or this that. Yeah, I don't know. But also, you have to understand with Sean, he's kind of in a complicated situation where he has to be in a good relationship with Matt Rule. So he can't necessarily like say anything bad about the program, or else Matt Rule might not give him intel, or Matt Rule might not be as kind to him. So, like for me, I can say whatever I want because I mean, like I'm not getting paid by these sites. You know what I mean? Like Matt Rule's not on my contact list. So yeah, not to bring this up, but Dayton just started following Oregon. We already talked about that, Dylan. He been following Oregon. We talked about that earlier. He'd been following Oregon. Good luck on your exam, my man. Oh, we'll be locked in. We'll be locked in for the exam tonight or tomorrow. Tomorrow night. We got night exams, dude. That's the worst. We're gonna lock in though. Lock in. I don't know. I might not look like it, but I like to think of myself as a very straight arrow. We got an A right now to count. We got all A's. I'm happy to report all A's on the channel. All A's. All A's in all of my years of college so far. I'm just about to finish my 3rd semester. All A's. All A's, man. And making 2 videos a day. Oh. But college grades maybe don't matter. That might be true. I'm curious if Dayton blows up in recruiting now that he's not Husker. Probably not. I mean, he got 2 weeks till signing. Everybody already has quarterback commits, so it's too late. It's too late to do that. Real opinion on Lateef or Raiola. He said real opinion of Lateef or Raiola. I already tell you guys I'm not picking between the two. I mean, I told you guys that I'm rooting for TJ to be better than Dylan because I always want the starting quarterback to be better than the last guy. But again, my best outcome is that both those guys are here next year. Both those guys want to compete. So, but there's already just too much of a narrative right now. Here it is. There's this narrative from John, and I'll address it. He says you're a Raiola hater. He's literally the reason we've had back-to-back winning seasons. Like, when did you start watching the channel, John? Like, if anybody who's watched this channel for more than like 1 month knows I'm a big Dylan Raiola truther. It's like I just don't know where this narratives come from. People will say, "Well, you root for TJ, you must hate Dylan." Like, those don't correlate. You can root for both. Like again, it's just a very uninformed take. It's a very uninformed take. And also saying that he's the reason we've had back-to-back winning seasons, that's not the case. For example, we did not beat Colorado last year because of Dylan. We won because of the defense. We did not go down the line. We did not beat Purdue last year because of Dylan. Okay. So Dylan did not really contribute much to a winning season last year. He definitely didn't contribute much to a winning season this year. If you think he's contributing more to wins than Emmett Johnson this year, you're crazy. Like that's just keeping it honest. Like Emmett Johnson's the reason why the record is what it is. If Emmett Johnson was not on this team, but Dylan was our starter all year long, we would be 4-8. 4-8. So, but your whole comment's just wrong. My man Ernie holding it down there in Georgia. He says proud Wilson is one to be proud of, a hard worker, a center young man, good dude. Appreciate the journalism and the presentation as well. Ernie, you're my man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you for keeping me up to date with the date and stuff. With the date and stuff. I appreciate it, my man. I'll get a misinformed take. Yet you said Raiola doesn't make off script plays. Yet look at the Maryland game. The Maryland game in which Dylan threw 3 interceptions. Is that the one you're referring to? Like again, I don't understand your take here, John. I know you might be a new viewer and you think I might hate Dylan, which is not the case. But you can't come in here and say, well, he had off script plays versus Maryland. He played very well. He played terrible versus Maryland. That was his worst game of the year. So if anything, you're proving my point. Maybe it's a bad thing that he's making off script plays, even. But I don't think he made any plays off script versus Maryland. He was the opposite of that. So, anyways, will Dylan Raiola go to Central Florida next year? No. I know you're being sarcastic. I know you're being sarcastic, my man. I know you're being sarcastic. You watch any NBA Lake Show balling? I'm a Warrior fan, bro. But I really don't watch this time of year. I mean, I like check up on the scores, but I'll watch a little bit like when we get to spring. But right now I'm locked on college football, then I'll lock it on NFL, and then I'll start watching it, once we get to 26, you feel me? But I enjoy your show, Wilson. You must have really kept up with Nebraska football your entire life. I love it, man. I love it. I love Nebraska football. That's why I do it, dude. That's why I do it. Trolls will be here. They'll say, "Well, Wilson, you don't like Nebraska football. You're secretly an Iowa fan." Like, dude, if I was an Iowa fan, I'm making 2 videos about Nebraska Day. That would have been the greatest disguise of all time. If I paid all my hard-earned money to go to Nebraska games and get all this Nebraska gear, that's commitment. But yeah, I know I love Nebraska. I love Nebraska. I love the state more than anything. The university is cool, but I love the state. The state is really what drives me because I think the state's just so humble, so hardworking, so authentic. I love Omaha. I love Western Nebraska. Um, I told y'all like my favorite memory being a Nebraska fan. Again, I haven't had too many good memories. Like a lot of people, their favorite memories are win natties back in the Devaney era, back in the TO era. Like my best memory to this day is going to Northwestern in 2013 with my grandpa. We're sitting up there in East Stadium, and we watched Nebraska win on a Hail Mary versus Northwestern. That was my favorite memory. And to that day, I was locked in. And I've had some good memories over the years, like Nebraska beating Michigan State in 2012, Jamal Turner back in the end zone. Loved that game. I loved us beating Michigan State in 2015, Brandon Riley. I loved all our battles with Wisconsin, right? Even though we've lost a lot of them, right? I loved beating Iowa in 2022, right? That was a great memory in my life. I loved beating Illinois versus 2019, Wandale Robinson. That was a great game. So I haven't had like a bunch to root for in my life. Not a lot of bowl games. Definitely no national championships. Not a lot of great players. But honestly, and this is my hot take forever, I think that's what made me such a strong fan. If you go through all that and you never got to see winning, I think when we do end up winning, it's going to make me really happy. It's going to make me really grateful, because that's where really that sports is all about. It's about life lessons and going through the tough times in order to celebrate the good. You know what I mean? If you just have the good times all the time, you're not going to enjoy them all. You know what I mean? It's just going to be like, oh, this is the standard. Like I told you guys, I was a Warrior fan. Like when the Warriors won the NBA title every year, like I wasn't surprised. I wasn't too excited. But when Nebraska, if they ever win the national championship, bro, I'm going to be ecstatic for months. So I just think a lot of times sometimes we think sports is more important than it actually is. Like sports is just meant to make us happy, man. And I think sometimes we get too mad about the losses. Like just enjoy the process all the time. Just enjoy the process. So are you doing this from 2040? I don't know what you mean there. I don't know what you mean. If Lateef gets all the snaps during the offseason, could he be better his second year than Dylan was? I think for sure. Absolutely he could. For sure. Beautiful background. Is it Omaha? It is. It is. We got a sick background, man. Sick background. I love it, man. I love it. I'm not an apartment guy. Like this is my dorm. This I want to make it clear. This is my dorm. I did not spend my YouTube earnings on this. This is my dorm. But this is a sick dorm view. I love it, man. I love it. It's a cool spot. It's a cool spot. It's a cool spot. But yeah, no, this is not Lincoln. Not the Lincoln skyline. Trey Palmer versus Purdue. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. I don't know. I didn't love that game though because we lost the game though. We lost that game, so I didn't love that one because it was literally a shootout. But he had a great performance. But Michigan State 2015 best game. Yeah, dude, that was awesome. Okay, I remember that game, and I remember because again, here's some background on me. Like I did not grow up. Sometimes there's a misconception. I've seen this before in my comment section. People think I'm rich for some reason, bro. People think I'm rich. I'm not rich at all. I grew up very low middle class, very low middle class. Never had cable, never had ESPN, never had any of those channels, never had an Xbox growing up, never had any of that. I lived in the house that we bought for I want to say $100,000. Anyways, and I was growing up and we didn't have cable or anything. And Michigan State, I think it was on BTN or something. And we were listening to the game on the radio because that was the only way we could listen, that we could actually follow up with the game. And I remember listening to it. It was Greg Sharp, man, and that call. And I remember Tommy Armstrong throws that at the back of the end zone to Brandon Riley, and you couldn't even hear the call because the crowd was erupting. And then they ended up reviewing it, right? And then you couldn't even hear the ref say it was confirmed not because the crowd was literally going berserk. So that was nuts, man. That was nuts. That was nuts. And I loved listening. That's why I was so upset when Greg Sharp passed because that was my childhood. I grew up on Greg Sharp, you know what I mean? So RP Greg Sharp, but yeah, no. But there is a misconception. People are like, oh, you go to Creighton, you're rich. Like, bro, I go to Creighton because I got a scholarship to go to Creighton. Because I worked hard to go to Creighton. Because again I got a full ride scholarship at Omaha, at Lincoln, at Creighton, at Minnesota, at Oklahoma, because I grinded in high school and I put in the work and I got I think I got 32 on the ACT. I had a 4.3 GPA. I did all these activities. I was a broadcasting guy. I did this, down the third. Um, so yeah, man. But people be like, "Oh, you're rich." Like, bro, come on. That's not the case. Wilson, are you from Omaha or Lincoln? I'm from Omaha, my man. From Omaha, from pretty much Ralston. From pretty much Ralston. Ralston, kind of like in the Ralston Papillion area in a way, like Central O, Central O, Central O. But let me know you guys' favorite memories of being a Nebraska fan. Let me know that. I want to know, like, I don't care how long ago it was. It could be in the 70s, it could be in the 60s, it could be in the 50s, it could be in the 90s. Let me know your favorite ever memory as being a Nebraska fan. I would love to hear that. I would love to hear that. Brian says the Kenny Bell hit was awesome, even though a dumb targeting call. I'm not gonna lie, I did not watch that game because I was 6. I was 6 when that game happened, and I remember because I was so young and we were getting blown out, and I was crying. I was crying because I was 6 years old, and my dad was super not happy about it, obviously, because we were getting blown out. We are getting embarrassed. I didn't even see the block on live television. I didn't even see anything because I was beside myself that we were getting blown out at 6 years old. But yeah, man, I was beside myself. Do you think Luke Fickle will turn around Wisconsin? No, but they don't have enough money. They don't have enough money, man. They don't have enough money. Crouch's big run. Yeah, that's a good one, man. That's a good one. Celebrating on 72nd and Dodge. Dude, that's such an elite video. Have you guys seen that YouTube video? That's such an elite video. It's like 1995 when we won the national championship, or it might have been 97. It might have been 97 when we beat Tennessee. But basically, there's some on YouTube where it's right by Crossroads in Omaha, and there's these people are just lining the streets, going absolutely berserk. That is such a cool video. Yeah. Honestly, some of my favorite stuff to do is like just watch like these random Nebraska games from like a million years ago. Like I've already seen most of the 90s games. I don't really rewatch the 90s, I'm not gonna lie. Because the Nebraska community kind of grew up on the 90s. Like I rewatch like the 60s. I'm not like I'll try to find like Nebraska like right when Bob got here. You know what I mean? When Bob got to Nebraska, those are the type of games I try to rewatch because it's just crazy. It's crazy, man. I mean, time flies though. It's wild. Um, but yeah, man, college football's changed a lot since then, for better or worse. For better or worse. Look at Mike. Grew up lower middle class. Dude, Mike guy. This Mike guy's scratching out in the comment section because he muted himself, but he doesn't he's leaving for good. Leaving for good, Mike. Lower middle class, man. Don't make assumptions about my life, man. People lower middle class. This dude from the streets, Mike from North over here. Like, come on. You don't know my life. You don't know my story. Lower middle class. I did. It's crazy though. But people think because I got a crazy, like they try to make assumptions. Like, okay, okay. That Fiesta Bowl game was the turning point in football. I agree. So I agree. I'd say 19. I think 1984 was the turning point, at least in To's era. When we beat Iowa in 2022, yeah, that was a good one, man. And that was just, I mean, that was fun because it was like there was no pressure on that game. We weren't gonna make a bowl game anyways, so that was fun. Lenore was like like Tommy Armstrong, except he won't get benched like Tommy did. I don't hate the comparison, but Lenore's a little bit more mobile. Matt Davidson caught the Mizzou game kick. Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy, man. That was crazy. Hooked from there, live in Georgia, bleed red for the Huskers. Now UGA. Yeah, Ernie's holding it down, man. He's holding it down, Georgia. He's holding it down. He's holding it down. The Sue Pelini era was amazing. Well, I mean, we say that now, but I don't think we felt that at the time. I remember I was distraught as a kid when Pelini when he got fired. Um, but there was a lot of people who wanted to go on because we can't have anything nice. We can't have anything nice. Did Dayton decommit because he plans on following rule of Penn State stirring the pot? Yeah. Nope, that's not the case. Wish my fam could have stayed in Nebraska and grew up there. Yeah, man. It's I love the state, man. It's a great state. It's a great state. It's a great state. Western Camp behind the back catch. What was that against FIU? That was a great highlight, man. Western Camp was such a fun receiver to watch, man. We had a really good run of receivers there in the 2010s, like with Stanley Morgan, JD Spielman, Alonzo Mourning, or no, not Alonzo Moore, with Kenny Bell, with Quincy Enunwa, with obviously Jordan Westerkamp. I feel like I'm missing one. I feel like I'm missing a really good receiver in there. We had Ethan Carter, tight end. We had a good run. We had a good run of receivers for whatever reason. Do you consider Iowa fans worse than Colorado? Um, well, no, but in my life, yes, because I've dealt more with Iowa fans in my life than Colorado. Because in my life, I don't really remember playing Colorado too much. So I hate Iowa more than I do Colorado for sure. To answer your question, pushing the hype moving forward, how aggressive will Nebraska be in the portal and recruiting? We'll be real again. 20. We'll take 20 players in the portal this year. It's going to be more aggressive than last year, and we'll have a lot of money. We'll have a lot of money to spend. Just know that. just know that we got a lot of money to spend. Brian says my best memory was when I lived block from stadium in parking cars in our backyard, made about $80 those home games. Yeah, man, that's a good way to make money. It's a good way to make money. That's where I park. I go to games. I'm parking in neighborhoods. Amir Abdullah being South Dakota single-handedly last second. Zombie, come on, you got it wrong. Zombie. I'll give you an opportunity to correct yourself. I'll give you an opportunity to correct yourself. I'll give you an opportunity before I correct you. You got it wrong though. You got it wrong. You got it wrong. You got it wrong. Elijah Pritchett worshiper says Elijah Pritchett is the GOAT. Shout out to Elijah Pritchett worshiper. That's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. I love that. I remember there's a lot of people who like pretend to be players in my comment section. There's like somebody pretend to be like, I think like Jeff Sims like a very long time ago. People like bought it. People were like, "Oh, Jeff's in the comment section." Like, no. John says, "Do you see that Oda moved up to a 5-star?" I did see that. I did. We talked about it earlier. Yeah. I mean, shout out to Danny. I was calling for it, man. I was calling for it. I was calling for it. But Danny's my guy. He's gonna be so good. I mean, literally, he's gonna be day one guy, day one star, day one star. He's special, special. There we go. We got the correction here. McNeese. Yeah, it was not South Dakota. It was McNeese. I was waiting for Zombie. I was waiting for Zombie to correct himself there. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Quan Lacey to Nebraska? No, no, he's not going to Nebraska. If he leaves, he's going to Alabama or Georgia. He's not going to Nebraska. That'd be a step down. Since you're in Omaha, I gotta believe Nebraska football influence a government influence a vote if you raise the speed limit on I-80. Uh, yeah, since you're in Omaha, I gotta believe Nebraska football. I don't know what you're talking about, Braxton. I don't know. They gotta raise the speed limit though. I'm not gonna lie. I've had one speeding ticket my entire life, and I never speed ever again because of it. It was a good life lesson. I was going down to Lincoln for state basketball because I used to do broadcasting, and I was gonna cover those games. And we're going like at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was going down with my high school buddies, and I was speeding on I-80 going down to Lincoln. I got pulled over by a cop, and I was shaking, man, because I do not like to get in trouble. I never get in trouble. I'm not the type of guy. So I was literally shaking the car, and I got a speeding ticket. And but I ended up getting it off my record because I did a class, a very like an online class, got my record because it was a minor speeding ticket. But ever since then, I've never sped again. I've never sped again because um, it sometimes you just have to learn the hard way in life. That's what I've learned multiple times. Sometimes you have to learn the hard way. So do not speed. It's not fun. And now I feel like a grandma though, because I'll be driving to Creighton, to go on Sunday nights, or I'm going back to school, and I'll see people going 90. And I'm like an old mom. I'm like, why are you going 90? Why are you speeding? Like the speed limit said. But yeah, man, that's my rant. That's my rant. That's my rant. Oh, dude. Do you think Emmett will win Heisman? Chris, that's our video tomorrow, my man. That's our video tomorrow. Funny enough, at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Watch out for it. 9 o'clock. That's we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Do you genuinely believe in your lifetime you'll see Nebraska win a national championship? Um, no. Yeah, I don't know. It's so tough, man. There's college football is so unpredictable. It's so unpredictable. It's just not the way it was 10 years ago. It's definitely not the way it was 30 years ago. So I would say no. I mean, I'm optimistic about the future. I'm not a doomer, but it's getting harder and harder to win natties. I'll just put it at that. It's getting harder and harder, but I'll say no. But I could see us win a Big Ten title. I could see us be, playoffs. I could see us be really good, but I mean, I'm a young guy. I probably got, I'd hope 60, 70 more years in my life, but I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough to say. I hope I live that long. You never know. You never know when God will take you. You can throw around your celeb card, get all the speeding tickets. I don't know, man. I don't know if any cops watch my stuff. I don't know. Dude, it's crazy though walking in Lincoln this year though. Like I go to Lincoln, and usually when I go to Lincoln now, like for games, I'll wear sunglasses because like I like being recognized, but at some point it's like okay, I'm just trying to watch the game. You know what I mean? But I went because I pulled up to the what was it? I pulled up early in the season. I think what was the first game of the year? Akron. Akron. Pulled up to Cincinnati. So Cincinnati was in Kansas City. I was going out of Kansas City, and I kid you not, I walk out of my car because we got tickets, like front row parking. Basically, got really lucky front row parking in Kansas City Arrowhead. I walk out of my car by a tailgate. The second I walk out of my car, it's like five dudes saying, "Oh, Wilson, it's Wilson," and they're like shaking my hand. One dude, it was crazy. So I'm walking. I met like 30, 40 people in Kansas City alone. Then I go to Akron, met a bunch of people there. People, I mean, literally, this is the first time I've never been asked for selfies. I've took a lot of selfies this year, a lot of selfies. So it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. But I don't consider I don't know. I never thought that was going to be like that ever. Never thought it was going to be like that. But I want to make it clear, like when I walk out in Omaha, I'm going place to place. I don't really get recognized that often. It's kind of rare. I did work at a golf course. I did work at a golf course this summer. And I met like literally 100 people at a golf course. I think our most of my viewers golfers because it was weird how many people I met who were literally golfers who said, "Oh, I think I know you from YouTube." And I'm like, you might. Somebody said, imagine being a football player. You're right. You're probably right. Yeah, yeah. I don't get recognized anything compared to some of these other dudes, dude. Some of these other dudes, man. Yeah, I'm not a celebrity though. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not trying to make it out like I'm a celebrity. I'm just a dude. I'm just a dude. Who's on top? Says any stories that made you hate the Hawkeyes as a whole? Um, no, I mean nothing. I mean, just I'm beating us for so long, right? Like I've always I've always hated them, right? Just because they're a rival, right? And a lot of my family grew up in Iowa fans, so it was kind of always personal a little bit. So, yeah, I just don't like Iowa. Their fan base is very toxic. But what's funny enough is that I'm friends with a lot of Iowa fans in real life. So it's kind of weird. Like all the Iowa fans I've actually met in real life are pretty respectful. Wilson probably played small forward in basketball. I don't know. I played center. I played center because I grew really early in my life. Like it doesn't look like it. People think I'm short. People meet me, they think I'm short. I'm 6'3". I like to think I'm 6'4". But anyways, I grew really early in my life. So I'm like I was a center my entire life, but I never grew any further after like freshman year of high school. So and then basically I wasn't tall enough to be a center in high school, but I wasn't agile enough to be a point guard. I kind of screwed my basketball future, even though I'm just not that athletic. I'm not that athletic. Would you give the Iowa game for an annual Oklahoma game? Um, no, probably not. Probably not. What are some things you want to do with your channel, but some have the money or resources, you need your own studio with a green screen, etc.? Um, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind adding like some more decor. I mean, some stuff in my studio back home. I wouldn't mind adding some stuff. I'm gonna get a new mic very soon here, so that'll be nice. I mean, there's a lot of stuff like going to games. Like I would love to travel to games from time to time. It's just like, and I have the money to do it. Like again, I'm very lucky. Like YouTube pays me pretty well. Um, I'm very blessed to do this. You know what I mean? I don't do it for the money. I do it because I love it. I do it because it's fun. But I'm also very stingy with my money. I'm very if you guys know me, I'm very stingy. Like I have a very strict budget for myself. Like I only spend like $100 a month. I try usually that's only gas or food. You know what I mean? Because my mindset right now is I'm in college. Like what am I gonna spend money on anyways? Um, so I don't know. But I'm just right now. I'm just like everything I earn from YouTube is invested. I'm not gonna lie. Everything I've earned from YouTube is invested in stocks in my portfolio just because I'm trying to set myself up. I'm trying to give myself a benefit when I retire or something. But I just try to be smart with my money. But as for want to do with the channel, I don't know. I mean, yeah, definitely a studio would be cool. A studio would be cool. I just don't know if that's ever gonna happen. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. But I would love to travel for games. I'd love to do that. Um, yeah, but I'll get a new mic soon. I got a pretty nice setup at home. Like I got a monitor now. I got a really good laptop where I make all my videos on. Which I did not actually spend the money. Funny enough, my university paid for that laptop because they counted it as a business expense because anyway, I'm talking too much about myself. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about myself. Anyways, but I got a nice setup. I got everything I can need. I'm very stingy. I'm a very stingy person. I'm a very stingy person. And I've also noticed, I think sometimes the background's overrated. Like I don't know if I were to improve my background, like who cares? Am I gonna get more views because of that? Like when I was just starting off, people would, roast me because I'm in a basement, right? Like of course I'm in a basement. I'm 19 years old. You know what I mean? Like where else am I gonna record? I don't have a penthouse. Like I have my dorm room here. I got my parents' house because of course, like I'm not 25 out here. Of course I'm gonna move out. You know what I mean? When I graduate college, but there's just not too much I can do right now. So it's all about investing, being smart with my money. But I've gotten really interested in that recently. And if there's anybody who needs information about that's my guy David. But but my big goal, maybe David can help me out with this, is getting the house when I graduate. So I'm graduating in 2.5 years. My big goal is to buy a house by then. I think I'll be in a good spot to do that with YouTube and with everything that's going on. So yep. Let's see. What's your reaction to James Franklin going to Virginia Tech? I was a good hire, man. It's a heck of a hire. I was happy for him. I was happy for Virginia Tech. It's a good hire. Would love to see you commentate on TV. Yeah, man. Funny enough, dude, that was my passion. That was my calling. Like I was, if I wasn't at my college right now, I would have went to Lincoln. I would have went to Lincoln and majored in sports broadcasting because I was a big sports broadcaster in high school. You know what I mean? That's why I started this channel because I love sports broadcasting so much. And I was really good at it. Like I won a bunch of high school awards for it. I met a bunch of really cool people through it before I was even big doing this. And I was gonna do it. I was gonna do it at UNL, but then I was like, it's such a competitive field, and again, I try to make the smartest decision possible, and I just felt like it was better to go to a better university, and I was going to get college paid for anyways. And I just felt like I felt like it would have been better to take this opportunity rather than go to Lincoln. And I'm really happy about it. I think I made a really good decision just because I do think the university I'm at now objectively is a better university, and I think the degree I have is worth a little bit more because I'm double majoring in finance and accounting. So, but yeah, man. But I would love to again. That was my dream, dude. That was my dream. That was my dream. My dream is to be a Gus Johnson. My dream is to be a, you know, fill in the blank. So Grant says, Wilson, you should make a video on underappreciated Nebraska players who contribute next year. Yeah, we'll do that at some point. We'll do that in the off season. Let me know. I mean, I'm all ears. If you guys want content, you guys want like certain things, certain video ideas, please let me know. Like we're getting to that. I'm trying to schedule all my videos in advance for December, for January, for February. I'm starting to like put down ideas. So if you guys like want some like a video idea, like let me know. Like I'll write that down on my schedule right now. I'll put that down. I'll put that down right now, Grant. Underappreciated Nebraska players. Let's write down. I'll put it down right now for January 16th. And I might push it back. You never know. But I try to have ideas very far in advance. So I got literally like I started working the other day. Like I'm starting to make videos ideas for the next 3 months. So do you think you'll be making YouTube videos until you graduate? I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how long I can keep up doing daily content. Like it's tough, dude. I mean, 2 videos a day is crazy. It's crazy. It's a huge time commitment. So we'll see. Obviously, when I graduate, it'll be a little bit different. It'll be different for sure. Um, it'll be different. So I'll keep you posted. But I'll tell you right now, like I'll do daily content up until probably next season at the very minimum, or up until we'll probably do it for another year. Um, but I just don't know how my life's going to change. I don't know. I don't know. I'm internships with job opportunities, right? I don't know because YouTube's really really awesome. Like I could do YouTube full time. I really could. Um, I really could. I'm very blessed, but I just don't know if I'd want to do it full time because I'm somebody who I love Nebraska football, but I have other passions. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know. But like, I'm blessed, man. It's a really fun gig. I don't take it for granted. Wilson, let's be real. Dylan will definitely be going to Miami in the offseason. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Have you considered having opposing team YouTubers as live stream guests? Yeah, I've thought about that before. I mean, I know a couple. Um, maybe next year. Maybe next year. I've done it like once before. I had a Colorado buddy who did it, who I thought who was really informative. But we'll see. I just try not to be like a pest. I see other YouTubers, but I try not to like bug them and be like, oh, you want to go on my YouTube channel? Like, just not trying to be that guy. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody texts me first, I'll be entertained doing that. Yeah. All right, guys, we've been going for literally an hour and a half now, putting your final stuff. I gotta go study, man. I wish I could say I had a better excuse, but I gotta go study, man. Gotta go study. Gotta go learn about some random stuff, some accounting. Did Miami tamper with them last season? They did. They wanted Dylan, then they ended up getting Carson Beck over him. Just then, Dylan Dayton committed at Northern Sacramento Community College. Come on, get out of here, Grant, with that. Get out of here with that. Everybody also hit the like button. We're at 130. Let's get to 150 by the time we get out of here. Let's get to 150. Get to 150 again. Put your final stuff in the comment section. And then while you guys do that, I'll give you guys a brief schedule these next couple of days, what you can expect on the channel. So tomorrow we'll have a video at 9 o'clock talking about we'll talk about Emmett's future, and we'll talk about TJ Lateef in tomorrow's morning video. Then of course we'll have a news video tomorrow afternoon per usual. Friday we'll have my prediction video, comes out at 9 o'clock. Friday afternoon we'll probably have a recruiting update, and then Saturday day of course we'll have the day of video, and we will have of course our live stream right after the game. That's gonna be a big one. Live stream video after, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. Gonna be a lot of fun. Who is the most famous person that's reached out to you because of your channel? Coaches. You can infer who that is, but coaches for sure. Coaches. Daniel says, I loved your video ideas with Dawson and Michael Terry, etc. Or interview, excuse me. If you ever had the chance, it'd be nice because you're not associated with the university and can be more candid. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind bringing back interviews, and like I told you guys, like I'm tight with all the commits in class of 27, right? Like literally, like all those dudes follow me. We chat from time to time. Like Trey, Tori, Tay, who just committed, Jabari Watkins, a lot in the class of 26 too. Like You know, pretty much all of them. Like I get pretty much every single commit follows me in some aspect. So I mean, I would have like I'm sure a lot of those players would be open to it, and it would be great content. Don't get me wrong. I just I don't like to beg these recruits for stuff. I'm not gonna send there and like go in their DMs and like give me intel, give me information. Like I'm not that type of guy, you know. So I don't know. Maybe we might bring interviews back. You know, I was talking with Ahmad Hudson recently because Ahmad follows me on socials, and that was the only time I've ever asked a commit for anything or a recruit for anything. I said, Ahmad, hey, would you be open to maybe coming on the channel sometime and doing something? He said, yeah. So we might have an Ahmad Hudson interview at some point. I have to set it up. I'm sure he'd be open because he already said yes, but now I actually have to schedule that. So we'll do it. We'll do it soon. We'll do it soon. We'll do it soon. I just I don't like to beg these recruits for stuff. That's not my personality. There's a lot of people who do that. That's not me. That's not me. Like the intel I get is usually because the recruits text me first, or the parents text me first, or this, that, and third. My man David, thank you for the super chat. He says $5. Says thank you for going live. Keep up the good work, David. I appreciate it, man. You're my guy. You're my guy, David. Everybody go sub up to David. He does a great job over there and living in Omaha for all your realty needs in this city. What's your favorite thing about the Scott Frost era? Um, Wandale Robinson. I was a big Wandale Robinson fan. Big JD Spielman fan. I'd just say the best. I mean, we didn't really have any good games, but I just thought we had some good players. You know, we had some really fun players. So thanks for the content. Your channel's fire. Thank you, Zombie. Is Ahmad's recruitment shut down to us, Alabama A&M? It's not shut down at all. It's very open. I don't think he's going to commit for another 6 months. So a lot can change, but we're in a good spot right now. We're in a good spot. We're in a good spot, that's for sure. All right, guys. I got to bounce. I got to get out of here. All right. Again, reminder, we'll be back tomorrow on the channel, 9 o'clock. Be there for that one. We'll keep it rolling, keep it pushing, man. 2 more weeks, dude. That's crazy. 2 more weeks, dude. That sucks. 2 more weeks of Nebraska football up until the offseason, but it's gonna be fast and furious. Like just because the season's over does not mean the content's slowing down. If anything, the content's gonna speed up because you guys know that December's hectic. January is gonna be hectic this year with the portal. So I'm really excited to cover it with you guys, even though I'm gonna be working like a dog. But it's fun for me. It really is. So I'm excited for it. But it's just sad that we only got 2 weeks left of the season because it's almost over, man. It was a fun year. It really was. It was a fun year, and it wasn't the year anybody was expecting, really. Well, it kind of was, but hopefully we end strong. Hopefully we end strong, and I think we will. We'll put it at that. All right, guys. Reminder, video tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Everybody, if you haven't put on notifications, I never shut this out. Put on notice just so you're informed. We have breaking news on the channel. If you want breaking news, put on notifications. Just shake it late so you get a little pop up on your phone when I make a video. All right, hit the like button on the way out, guys. Go Greg. Go Matt Rule. Now we'll see you in the next one. Oh, by the way, Chris says, are you going to cover Nebraska basketball? I will. After the season. After football season, I'll cover basketball. All right, see you guys.